Hi everybody, welcome to Greystone Carving Studio. This is the first experiment with our new camera, which is, so we'll see whether this works or not. What I want to do is continue this draft, just to show you again what was going on. And then what I'll introduce you today is to a punch. So this is a fire sharp punch. Whether that works, if I go like that a little bit closer, maybe not. It's a fire sharp punch. It's a small dinky punch. I've picked this for this bit of material because there's not a lot coming off and I can use it, and it seems, and it was to hand. The punch that I normally use is much heavier duty. It's got a shank on it about that big, and it's tungsten tipped, and that's the punch we'd use for Portland, which this is Portland. But first of all, I'll continue with this draft, and yeah. So I'm going to use my polypropylene mallet. I've had this for forever, and and there's an inch tungsten tip mallet-headed chisel, and with a draft, what we're doing again, and I covered this in the last video, is we're creating a datum so that we can work between, so we can punch between the datum, and then it's called a draft. We've previously pitched off this stone. So here we go. So always go for the line, and remember to relax when you're doing it, and you're dropping this weight into the chisel. What might be useful is to, I don't know whether this will work, I'm going to spin this round to here, and come round so that you can see what I'm doing. Does that work? Can you see that? Okay. So again, I'm going to work across my body, go from left to right because it's easiest. And now I'm going to go for the line. So I've created a platform. I place the chisel down on the platform, cut. Take the chisel away, place the chisel back and cut. Now I'm actually going to take some off the top here. And the reason I do that is because if I try and take too much off, I would be using a smaller chisel, that would work better. If I take too much off, there's too much pressure up here and you're likely to kind of blow out stuff at the bottom. All right, so come in on that corner. There's the other side, and then I'll go back to this so that I can. So what I want you to watch I want you to watch is the mallet, and see I'm there's a swing to it. I'm not using power. I'm not using strength. I'm using the weight of the mallet, which is why you have a larger mallet, because you can just carry on. Now, when you start, it might be useful when you do a draft to use a square, just to check that your draft is square and you're not tipping up. Normally you'd be tipping up or tipping down into the material. So there you go. We've got a reasonably flat. So now you've established your datum. This is slightly primitive because hopefully you won't see it. Slightly primitive. Now you establish the datum. This could be a large amount of material kind of on top. I've only taken a little bit off because I don't want to waste the material. I don't want to waste the stone, because this is an example. But if you could have a big pile of material here, and then you would use a punch. Now, I'm going to use this little one, and I'm going to use this. This is a lump hammer. This is just a nice a bog standard lump hammer. It's got some tape on its handle. It's got a short handle. We tend to, if you notice that the mallet handle is short, and as is the lump hammer. One of the things that can happen is as you swing, if you have the handle too long, it can knock off the arrows. So and also there's this whole thing with a hammer. You create this extra kind of whip in the hand. So you're using your biceps, your elbow, and then you're not using your wrist. You're using your hand to whip the hammer through, give it that extra kind of momentum, and it's a lovely trick. It's a lovely technique if you can get the hang of it. So, punching again. You're punching across the body, but it's slightly away, and what I'm going to do is you go for the line. And if you're removing large amounts, you're aiming to be about 1/8 of an inch above the surface that you want. So kind of, maybe 5 mil or something. That's a little bit more, but I mean, you want to be aiming between. And with this, what we call lane discipline is really important. You want to keep those lines in. And when we started learning, actually people drew lines on, if they had a surface, they drew lines on the surface. But often you've got this big rubbly thing, so you can't. And it's the same. I've created my little platform. I place the chisel in the platform. I take it away. Okay, and then you can place a straight edge on it to see how much you have. You can see what the light comes in underneath it. You can see I've got a little bit of light on underneath both ends, so I haven't gone under. This could probably come. I'll punch a little bit more off that. And on a big bit of flat, if you've got a big bit of masonry, so often apprentices start with a rough block and they're making this square block out of this rough block, and you use a meter straight edge on it to do the and I think the tolerances for apprentices was something like 1 millimeter over 1 meter or something like that. Something really kind of and this is nothing like that. So I'll do one more and then I'll stop. And the idea is to be as efficient as possible. Oh, show it, yeah, okay. I would speak, Tam. Yeah, look, there you go. You got your lines across, you got your draft, and you've got your lines across. There you go. And this kind of lane discipline. And after this has been punched off, then you go on to the next phase, which is you use a claw. And what I'll do is I'll introduce that in the next one. Okay, thanks for watching. And any questions, put it in the thing below, and have a lovely day. Cheers.